Remember
First off,
Thomas Jefferson said, a government that is strong enough to give you everything you want is strong enough to take away everything you have.
we all,
Let me add, excellent, and let me add one thing to that from another founder. And again, I'm sure we're all pretty familiar with our founders and what they believed and what they said and what they wrote. I believe it was John Adams who said that this Constitution will only work for a moral and just society. And I think we need to start finding our spiritual balance in this country. And I think we need to start looking up a little bit more and looking around. And stop looking so much at these. And I'm not trying to get preachy. Whenever I say something like that, I'm thinking about me too. This is my first one. I got it about 6 months ago. They are addicting. But liberty is more addicting. So I set it down a lot more now.
especially since we may possibly lose it. Hang on a second, Tom. The one thing to keep in mind, remember the outage that October day? You ever heard the big trees fall down? We had snow everywhere. The next morning there was snow, but what happened? It melted. People were out of power. We saw ourselves. My street, we all got together. We made sure people were fed. There were 7 of us on our street. We made sure power was in every house. Nobody went cold. Everybody was watching out for one another. And then I went down and I stayed and I worked at the shelter. What an eye-opener. If our people can't get through an outage of 9 days, how can we bank on people to hear what he's saying
They were
today?
freaked out after 1.
Right, but I'm saying after 9. Our founding fathers gave up everything.
Everything.
Everything. They gave up the fact that they could have been hung for treason. They sacrificed their families, their fortune, their farms, everything. And here we sit today. Pathetic we sit here today. You're absolutely right. Those gizmos have done us no good because people are not learning their history. They're just stupid stuff. So my preach, I'm with them. Tom?
Thanks for the segue. I think, thank you for coming. I only caught the end of that, but I've heard a lot of great things about you. I like what you said about the looking up, because I think what we are facing, our biggest adversary in this fight for liberty on every level, is that educating, that's what we really have to do. Educating and engaging the people that are what Mary Ann just described, the ones that just drove to the shelter instead of stopping first and saying, not what can you do for me, I'm in trouble, what can I do for my neighbor, what can I do for my country, what can I do for liberty? And it's that mentality. We are in the minority. Don't kid yourselves. There are many less of us than there are of the people that are waiting for someone to tell them what to do next.
I couldn't agree with you more.
What to receive next, how to behave, and are just apathetic or unattached or ignorant about the things like liberty and what those founding fathers meant. And if you can change one thing, that's the thing to change, that gets the people awake, because they're asleep. Right now in Connecticut, all the outraged people about guns, there's 5 times as many that are like, what's going on? What are you talking about?
Agreed, and unfortunately, what they don't realize is that any attack on a fundamental, inalienable right, it's an attack on all of them.
Right.
And I don't know, and I don't understand why they don't see that. I don't have an answer for it, other than they're dependent.
We've taught out of our schools, out of our religions, out of our social activities, we've been taught over the years away from learning these things, knowing these things.
I fear that what we have in office today and what we're starting to put on the benches is becoming more of a reflection of the people. And that's what's starting to scare me a little bit. I said on the Jim Weisfeld show the other day that we all know, we talk about the Bill of Rights all the time. We know about the Bill of Rights. We know that they're there, but I don't think we ask ourselves enough is how and why they are there. what did it take from our founders to purposely limit their own power so that others could be more free? Who's doing that today? Who's even talking like that today? Nobody. I asked Jim Vicevich, how many lawmakers do we have that even speak like this anymore? Do they even use the word liberty anymore? Hardly ever.
They know what it means.
But-
Talk to me. What do you got, Bob?
But it's true, he was saying grandpa, but if you say things like liberty, if you say things, you start quoting Jefferson or Adams, you are considered a dinosaur and a reactionary and a throwback, and nobody listens to you anymore because it's just the ravings of a crazy old man. That's the
Peter.
problem.
The other thing too is, until you get rid of the liberal control of the educational system and get it back to local control, this whole thing is gonna keep perpetuating itself. And also, is Megyn Kelly as good a person as she looks on TV?
Stop it. Hold on a minute, we got something. Hold on, Kevin. John, we want to show your clip, but I want to have a few more conversations, but Boomer, you're not leaving, you don't mind if I call you that, do you?
It'll drive everybody from the room.
No, it won't.